The domination roll continues for Kailub Russell in the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series. At our last race, he quickly rallied from third to first, then held Ryan Sipes, Thad Duvall, and Josh Strang at bay to take the win. He's 3 for 3 so far this year. How far can he go? Time to go racing here on Racer TV. Jason Wygant and a water truck here on hand at the venerable VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC, not far from Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina. Youth riders out on the track here on a Sunday morning, but soon clearing the decks for our pro riders led by Kailub Russell, your defending champ, and undefeated race winner so far in 2015 on the FMF KTM. Josh Strang here on the Rockstar Husky has been second at the first 3 races this year behind Russell, hoping for a mistake, hoping for an opening to get by the number 1. You always have to watch for Thad Duvall, spectacular rider on the KR4 FAR Rocky Mountain ATV MC Husqvarna. 989 is his number. Let's go racing here at the Big Buck. And Russell shooting off the line, picking the inside off the start. Normally it doesn't work, but it does this time, and he's got it. Holeshot award going his way, courtesy of All Balls Racing, and tangled up in the fence. One of the Yamaha riders, that's either Grant Baylor or Daniel Milner. It's definitely not the number 3 of Jordan Ashburn, who's second, and a good start by Strang today. He is third. Never mind the dust. Once they're in the woods, this track will be primo. And I'm pumped to see what Strang can do with a good jump today. Back to the line for XC2, our young riders in the 250 class. Powering out of the first turn. Nick Davis, an easy hole shot, and $100 from hot cams. Also on that FAR KR4 Rocky Mountain Husqvarna number 15. Jason Thomas on the Dirtwise Shane Watts backed machine second. And everyone else covered in dust. Super competitive, this XC2 class. Look how big the field is. So Russell in the lead, finding some virgin forest. We're hooking back on the more established race trail at the Big Buck. Strang to second. Hang on to that thing, Josh. And the former GNCC champ out of Australia has to try to sprint and run with Russell early. This is where KR has been doing his damage lately. In the last couple of years, Russell not a good starter, but he's obviously figured that out this season. Strang going to have to dig to stay with him. The speed of Russell has always been good in the opening laps, but he usually has to use that to come from deep in the pack to try to get to the lead. But now that he's grabbing hole shots, man, it's tough on everyone. Strang is on the gas, though, and you can tell because he has pulled away from everyone else. Hey, here's Ryan Sipes up to third. He's got Chris Bach right behind him. Then it's Milner, the 331, another Australian. Stuart Baylor comes to. Ashburn has lost a couple of positions. Then it's Andrew DeLong coming back from injury. Grant Baylor, who we saw stuck in that fence. 20 is Chris Douglas. And let's see who rounds out your XC1 field. That is Takeshi Koikita on the Honda out of Japan. That's how it's done in GNCC. It looks like a darn motocross track when Russell is charging, but you can still hear Strang back here making that Rockstar Husqvarna go and trying to keep some pressure on. Now both Russell and Strang racing the AMA Enduro Series this year as well. Has a lot of tight sections just like this, so they have both picked up their game through the trees, and they are pulling away from everyone else early at the Big Buck. Oh, nice job. Chris Bach here up to third now on the Johnny Camel Racing Honda ahead of Sipes. That's the same Ryan Sipes who won a couple of light supercross races in his time, now switching over to off-road. Last year was his rookie year at GNCC, not so great. but expecting much better things this season. Got some factory support now on the Husqvarna, does Sipes, backed by Air Group and Rockstar Energy. Look at Kailub Russell go. And a quick look over his shoulder to try to see where Strang or anyone else might be. Strang is going fast, there's no doubt about it. Box, Sipes, Milner, and here comes Ashburn and Stu Baylor and Stu's younger brother Grant. Now they're in the same class this year. Grant, who won the XC2 title on the 250 the last few years, chasing his older brother around, and they're all chasing Russell uphill. And the fans know where the cool spots are. Strang through the water crossing and now to the top. And a mad scramble down here. You can see there's a couple of different lines the riders can use. Bach, whoa, almost looped going uphill. With Sipes right behind him. Then here's Milner. Definitely a kicker at the top of this hill. Watch it. Oh, nice job to sidestep it as Grant has gotten around Stu. Baylor boys battling for it. Russell out into the field. Another shot for the fans to see it in action.
Yeah, you know who I meant, though.
And he's all by himself once again. And with each lap that Russell leads, and yes, he's not only won every race this year, but he's led every lap in all those wins. As he continues to click off these types of performances, the talk about maybe trying to sweep all 13 rounds begins to pick up. And obviously it's a little crazy to be talking about that before we're even 1/3 of the way through the year, but that's the type of performances he's put on. And last year he was pretty much unstoppable down the stretch once his teammate Charlie Mullins went out. And Mullins not racing this year as well with the same wrist injuries that cost him last year. So with Mullins out, your next best so far has been Strang, who has been very good, but is yet to challenge, truly put pressure on Russell at any of the races so far this year. This could be his best chance today with the good start. And we'll update you on that third place fight. Should be Bach ahead of Sipes. Yep, still is that Honda. Sipes right behind him, so that's the closest battle on the track. Then it's Milner, Baylor, trying to make up ground and fight for those podium spots. It's early here at the Big Buck. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Well, you're watching how it's done. The best in the off-road business right now is Kailub Russell, and he leads again here at the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC coverage on Racer TV here. He's led every lap of every race this year. He's two-time and defending GNCC champ. Look at how well that bike works. There's some rough stuff between those trees, and that KTM just flattens them. And then the rider does the rest. Here's Josh Strang hanging tough in second on the Rockstar Husky. The Australian. Been a nice comeback for him in GNCC Racing. Won this title in 2010. Had a broken leg the next year. He rode for factory Suzuki at the time, and that team closed shop. As did a lot of teams with the economic malaise we went through. So Strang has had to rebuild himself, find a home. He's got it now at the Husky folks. But he's still one notch away from being able to beat this guy and get that GNCC title back. Still riding well, though, keeping the heat on the number 2. And Bach and Sipes continue to scrap for third. And good to see Milner up here. First year of the U.S. for that Australian. Has his teammate Baylor right behind him. So Baylor's a rookie in the class. Milner a rookie to racing in the U.S. at all. Milner's sprint speed is unreal. But to do it for 3 straight hours, a totally different situation, and that's what he's having to adjust to, as well as the tracks, the climate, living in a new hemisphere, and everything else. Milner was 7th at our last race. That's his best so far this year. Oh, and a problem for Bach, who had to throw the drink system aside, and he did it while not losing any position. Still has Sipes and the 2 Yamaha men right behind him. Yeah, Russell over the famous creek jump here at Big Buck. Strang about to bust it out as well. And Bach without a drink system, 3rd. We'll see if that affects him, if he can get a new one on. They usually give the riders a Gatorade bottle with a gigantic hose in it that they can grab with their teeth as they come through the pits so they can get a little extra hydration beyond what the drink system offers. So I don't know how they're going to play it in the Johnny Campbell Racing pits for Bach today. I mean, they would be good to get a drink in the pits, but it's not going to be enough to get him through 3 hours. Russell, you see, not the backpack, but he has it as a fanny pack, and his lower back, that's where his drink system is. There's no way you're going to go 3 hours at this pace without hydration. Look at Strang wheeling out of that corner. He is on fire today, and if you didn't see Russell, you would swear that Strang is the best in the business and leading this race. That's how good he looks, yet he's losing ground to the champ. It's like a trail ride with buddies here. Bach leading Sipes. Everywhere they go, they're still close, but don't count out Milner and Baylor. 4-rider freight train going for 3rd.
I think I put those 2 bags right inside the...
What's amazing about Russell, like I said, he's just charging it like a motocross track. These guys, listen to Strang on the gas, and then hard on the brakes, just like you would do a moto. No coasting. It's either on the gas or on the brakes the whole time. And it looks like Baylor has gotten around Milner now. So 1 position made up for the youngster, who is, by the way, Baylor, a South Carolina native. Fans seem to like Russell here, though, as well. Here's Strang at the bottom of the hill, headed to the top. You can see the rock face jutting out now. Whoa, Sipes a big swap. As he tries to get around Bach, he has Grant Baylor to deal with, and Milner as well. Stay with us on Racer TV. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Hey folks, Jason Wygant here, giving you the call. It's the Grand National Cross Country Series. Caleb Russell leading the way from South Carolina. Found a new line between those trees. And Josh Strang has been 2nd nearly all day, hoping for a mistake, some sort of an opening, some advantage he can find over Russell to make a run for the win. Grant Baylor all the way up to 3rd. Oh, got to dig his way through that mud. Baylor 7th, 6th, and 4th at our first 3 rounds this year. That's a pretty solid debut on the 450. And Grant, by the way, was also a lifelong KTM rider, but a good offer from that Ampro NFAB Yamaha team to switch as he makes his debut in the Premier XC1 division. And it's coming together for him today. We'll see if he can maybe make a run at Strang for 2nd. So Baylor all alone. He's gotten around Bach. He's gotten around Sipes. Feet off the pegs. Still digging. Still pushing.
Them to take a...
Here's Russell. I don't know if he's quite as aggressive as he was in that first lap to build up the lead. Now just maintaining it.
That's the way it's flowing up here.
Every lap, Russell puts about 10 to 12 seconds on Strang. We'll tell you how this works. 3 hours of racing. Each lap about 30 minutes on the nose. Now on lap 3, Strang made up a little bit of ground, but then Russell pulled it back out. So it's about 35 seconds at the moment. And I think a little bit longer than that now. We'll see what happens the next time they get through the barrels, as they call it, the scoring area. Barrels, that's the old school term, back before we had electronic scoring, and they literally would have a barrel that they would use as a desk, and they'd write down the numbers and keep track of it with stopwatches. So it's broken down to these three. Baylor has gotten away from everyone else. Here he is in third, and you can tell he is hungry. He wants more than just his first podium of the year. He would like to try to track Strang or even Russell down. Russell off the ledge, pops back out. Back through the forest. Baylor has to get around a lap rider before he can negotiate that section. Now, Strang's a veteran, like we said, former champ. He is not going to be easy to run down late. He's not going to make mistakes. But it's going to be a mad rush, because the white flag is about to come out. We'll have a lap to go at the Big Buck. Russell's lead, like I said, was 35 seconds. Probably going to be in the 40-second range if some of the radio updates we have are accurate. And you saw the clock on the left side. You'll see it when the other riders come through. We're 2 hours and 35 minutes into this one. Who's got the endurance down the stretch? Russell getting the pit boards from his team. No radio communication allowed. Everyone's out there on their own. They take with minimal information they can get and try to run with it. Russell trying to run to his 4th victory this year. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Kailub Russell trying to put the finishing touches on the last lap of the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC. Look at how nasty this course has gotten now. Just very bumpy. A couple hundred amateur riders out here. And we encourage all of you folks to give it a shot. We have GNCC classes not just for bikes, but for the 4-wheeled ATV set and for UTVs, side-by-sides as well. Go to GNCCRacing.com to get more info on the schedule, how to sign up. Although I'll give you a little secret. It's basically about as simple as get your machine and your gear and show up. We'll find a place for you. Strang working his way through the lap traffic, and these are the best of the amateur riders, the intermediates and experts circulating the track, as well as we see Grant Baylor in third. Every Sunday morning we have our youth race and then our beginner race, followed by this. Again, the pros, the intermediates, and the experts. I think Strang upped the pace. I think he knew that Baylor was coming and stepped on it. Will it be enough to maybe push him closer to Russell? Here's your leader again. So Strang hammering down and showing just how strong he can be down the stretch. Couple of lap riders. Here comes Baylor. So Strang has answered the call. Baylor and Strang nearly identical laps the last time around with 31:03 and 31:06. And just under the 31-minute mark was Russell. I think they're pushing each other even harder now in the last lap, this battle for second. And this is a big shot for Baylor, even if he ends up third. And now we finally get him in the same shot, so he's definitely closing the gap. But even if he ends up third, it'll be the first career podium for him in this class and a definite step in the right direction. Although he'd like it to be a second place step, not a third. No chance of running down Russell, though. He's into the field for the final time today. The champ has just taken GNCC Racing to another level as he's off to an undefeated start and hoping to win his 3rd straight GNCC crown. And some salutes from some fellow riders and the fans here. It's over. Kailub Russell, 4 for 4 early in 2015. And here's Strang going to try to bring it home for second. And 4 straight second place finishes to start the year. Now, on paper, that sounds great. Look how close Baylor is, by the way. But I'm sure Strang would love to get a win one of these weeks. Grant Baylor, what a charge, showing he's got some fitness. But Strang doing what he needs to do to come across and grab the runner-up spot. Good racing between those two. Will be interesting to see where Baylor goes from here now that he's figured it out on the 450. Here's your Rocky Mountain ATV-MC results. Bach and Baylor 4th and 5th. Sipes drops back to 6th. DeLong, Coquita, Douglas, and Benor round out the top 10. We'll give you the AMSOIL race recap now. Kailub Russell grabs the All Balls Racing hole shot. That is bad news for everyone else. Made a lot of advancements with the bike, the starting, the fuel injection to figure out how to get that electric start KTM to rip off the line, and he has been aces off the starts ever since. Early on, he had a great battle between Bach, Sipes, Milner, and Baylor for 3rd. Kailub continued to pour it on out front. He goes on to another victory. Strang holds off Baylor for 3rd. It was very close there at the wire. The veteran from Australia and the young kid from South Carolina. We'll see them battle it out at the next one. For everyone at Racer TV, thanks for watching.